Let's talk artificial intelligence and music production. What I hope we're about to hear is real from an actual human being. Koromone Koroye, who's a former managing editor of the very popular tech publication Tech Cabal. She's now, of course, moving on to other things. She's a poet and at heart and is on the verge of this month releasing a spoken word album. Here's a snippet. Let's take a listen.
When the wheels touch ground with disembarking sweatpants, Nike swoosh is almost invisible to the naked eye. At leisure for flights longer than 60 minutes. Listen, I don't make the rules, but higher altitudes call for comfier garments. So we travel light enough to breeze through security and pat downs. They find nothing on us but house keys and a desire to live free. No, we ain't made yet. Just fortunate enough to book airport pickups in black SUVs. Tinted windows protect us from camera flashes. Look but don't touch. The bills do rack up on this side of.
All right, that's pretty impressive stuff. That's on the euphonious musings of Koromone Koroye, who joins us now. Koromone, good morning to you. It's amazing. You were last time we had you on the show, completely different capacity. We're still talking tech, and you're welcome. Glad to have you. So, what is this? A passion, or is this something that's always been in you, or you just tell us about what you've worked on here?
Well, first of all, thank you for playing that preview. But yeah, it's always something that has been a part of me. I was actually a performing poet when I was in college in New York a couple of years ago. And I performed poetry for about 10 years before I moved back to Nigeria. And when I came home and I realized that the poetry scene in Lagos was a little different from what I experienced in New York, I kind of put it to the side and decided to pursue a career in, tech and comms, right? But this is actually, it's a passion, yes, but it's what actually I started doing before I pivoted into the corporate world, I guess you would say. So I put it on the side to build a career. And now I'm on a break and I decided, you know what, why don't I just produce an album and put it out? So that's where we are now. That's incredible stuff.
Now, look, as far as the tech involved, so you did this did you go old school into a studio, or you just software that you just use yourself? What about the production and the tech involved in creating this?
Let me tell you everything I used. First of all, the actual writing, I used a mix of my notebook and my notes app on my phone. I recorded almost all the tracks with the voice memo app on my phone. But I also have a microphone that I bought a couple of years ago, and I used that with 2 of the tracks on the album. I then mastered and laid all the tracks using GarageBand on my laptop. So no, I didn't go into a studio at all. I did it all in my bedroom. No, not in my bedroom, in my home office. And in my bedroom at my mom's house.
Amazing. So look, you see, so this is what I want to ask you. So you self-produced this, then you notified your followers on Twitter. I follow you, so that's how I saw this. You notified your followers on Twitter about the album. You're putting it on SoundCloud, an online platform. You're putting it on YouTube. Are record labels still relevant? Because you produced it at home in your home office. You're promoting it on social media. Where are record labels now? Are they gone?
Yeah, no, I think record labels are still super valuable, especially for artists that want to do this full time. If they feel like, you know what, I want to pursue a career in music or, either as an artist or somebody working behind the scenes, then there is value because record labels have money, they can push, they can market, they can get you deals. But I'm an artist, I'm a poet, right? It's a little different. I don't necessarily want to be in the industry, but I want to write for rappers. I want to write for musicians. I want to write for singers, right? So in that sense, a record label could actually hire me to work with one of their artists, right? To give them a little, flavor to the stuff that they put out. But I will say that as an independent artist with a very unique sound and voice and writing style, doing this on my own at the first try just seemed like the right thing to do. And when I am ready to put out a proper studio album, then if there is a record label that is willing to take the risk on a poet, then sure. But otherwise, I would still just work on this individually and then reach out to producers and see if they'll be willing to master the tracks and help me push it out. I do want to say, though, about SoundCloud is one of the reasons why I chose SoundCloud is that it's great for creators and they even help you master 3 of your songs for free if you're on a specific plan. So this is a platform that is very dedicated to creators like me who don't want to go the traditional route, but still need a little bit of a push to take their work from this kind of private place to a more public place.
Great stuff.
You know, so it's two things can be true.
Yeah. Now, okay, you mentioned something there. You mentioned writing for rappers, writing for producers. So you could possibly get hired. Now, what about artificial intelligence? I want you to take a listen to this because this kind of shook the rap industry. These lyrics from Jay-Z that never happened. Let's take a listen.
What they aspire to, born in a cell with no one who can inspire you. Your highs are as never as high as those that lie to you, pretending that they live in the sky, lying behind you.
All right, so those are fake lyrics, fake sound. Jay-Z never put that out. Everybody was talking about it, and shout out to our engineer William, who sent that to me on Instagram. What do you make of that? I mean, is AI going to take your writing job? What do you make of what you've heard?
I don't think AI is going to take my writing job, right? And it's primarily because I actually mastered this art. I went to university. I studied English literature and poetry, right? To learn the craft of creating and telling a story using literary devices and really embedding messages in a poem, in a piece of fiction writing. What I think AI can do, and technology always has its positives, right? It always has its advantages. What AI can do is help someone who isn't a writer by gift, by skill, by talent, help them put things together. So for example, a busy CEO who needs to put out a memo, but maybe doesn't have the time to sit down and think about the words and the sentence structures and the grammar, you go to Notion, will go to Google and say, okay, I need help with writing this and putting it together. But I think that's where it ends. I don't think anyone who really knows that they're a writer, they know deep within them that they have this ability to create words and put them together, right? I don't think they should be worried. I think instead, they should actually be proud to say, I came up with this by myself, which is the case with all of the poems I wrote on my album. Like the process that goes into rhyming or creating a rhyme scheme or moving things around, double entendres, triple entendres, that's a work of the mind. Now, I asked, before we got on this call, I went into Notion, which I used to create poem descriptions on my album. And I write a poem about a group of Black friends going on a luxury holiday. And it produced something that read okay, but then I compared it to Arrogant Anthem and I'm like, but there's a rhythm. I'm talking, I don't need to put it out there that we're Black, but you can tell from what I'm writing that I'm writing about Black characters. You can tell that when a Black person listens to it, they would say, yep, this person gets my life, right? So what did AI do? It presented something clean, something without rhythm, something without rhyme, something that sounds good on paper, but when you perform it, it's a little stiff, it's a little unnatural. Now I, the human being, can add a rhythm, can add a flow, can change my voice at certain points. AI can't do that, right? So I wouldn't use it, but I would understand why anybody else would.
Great stuff. Well, hey, good luck with the album, Koromone Koroye.
Out today, by the way.
Fantastic.
It's out today.
We'll check it out. Thank you so much for talking to us about artificial intelligence and tech and the music production. Appreciate your time.